Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we want to ask you a simple question. Do you think that what you consider to be normal weight is an artifact of societal standards? Sorry, our cats just ran into the screen door.
Oh my God.
They're funny. They've recently discovered their reflections in the mirrors, and they've been attacking it
straight into us.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay, anyway. So, let me phrase that initial question a different way with some analogous questions. So, do you surround yourself with people that you perceive to be the way you want to be? In the groups of people that you surround yourself with, do you start to take on some of their characteristics?
I know, I do.
Like, I think if we can all think back to high school, this is a really good example of this because we change ourselves so that we fit in more drastically than we do when we're adults. And so you'll notice, like, what are those groups called? The cliques, right? In high school, these groups, they're all people that tend to have very similar ideas. They all act very similarly, that type of thing. And when you get into this group, you all start to share characteristics. And so now let's go back to my initial question. Is a normal body weight an artifact of society?
I think it is. So you're asking if being like, everyone tells me to eat a cheeseburger because I'm too skinny, right? When actually I'm a normal BMI, right?
Yeah.
And so you're asking if everyone's just a little overweight now and it seems normal.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Think about just sticking with body composition, think about the people that you surround yourself with. If you are an amateur bodybuilder and you surround yourself with people that consistently put their body in states of very lean phenotypes, then maybe you're going to consider yourself fat as a male when you're only at like 10 to 12% body fat, or a female being around 20% body fat, because normally you're in the mid to high teens, you know? Society at large.
Well, it's just something we do. As a female, I'm going to butt in here.
Yeah, of course.
I picked a lot of friends that were very attractive and thinner because they wouldn't pick on me, I guess, in high school.
And they would motivate
because it's more so because the overweight people would like make fun of me and tear me down constantly. So I would just cling to the more attractive people because they wouldn't do that to me, and they made me feel better.
Yeah. Okay.
And same thing, like if you're a little overweight and all your friends are overweight, they're not going to bag on you about your weight either. And so you're going to feel better. And so I did the same thing, but on the opposite side of the spectrum, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so when we look at this from a societal perspective, 2 out of every 3 adults is either overweight or obese. So when the majority of people that you see walking around are overweight or obese, your idea of what is normal and expected is going to be a higher body weight than it should be based on health parameters. And we have data showing this.
And I think that's the health at every size. I think that's why people fight back so strongly, is because they're like, well, everyone is overweight and healthy.
Just because something is the norm does not mean that's how things should be.
Exactly.
And so when there was an interesting study that looked at the Zimbabwe population, and they asked the Zimbabwe people to identify the body, or they asked males to identify the body shapes of women that they found most attractive. And in the indigenous population, they identified the fattest females as the most attractive because they look for fertility markers. And being overweight, or in this case obese, they perceive that as being very fertile because it means food for them is plentiful. But when the researchers took some of these Zimbabwe indigenous tribesmen and put them in the United Kingdom population, and then for 3 years and then ask them again. Their answers change to match that of the general UK population. And they preferred thinner women. Because your preferences are shaped by your culture and your society. And the same thing goes for your body weight. When you look at, in the US population, when you ask men to rate what they consider to be healthy, overweight, or obese body types based on images, what you find is that men consider overweight to be normal weight. Grade 1 obesity, which is a BMI of 30 to 35, to be overweight, and 35 to 40 to be obese. So men generally consider obesity as being overweight, and being overweight as normal weight. Which you can see, and I've noticed that even on like the East Coast, West Coast, you're familiar now too. East Coast, everyone's a little fatter just because of the lifestyle. Like it's just a lot of partying, you work hard, party hard. Like that's just the lifestyle. There's a lot of food everywhere, like on every corner. You don't have to drive to get it. Like that's just the lifestyle. And on the West Coast, everyone's thinner because they're wearing bathing suits more. They're out in the sun. Like it's just that's how we adapt. Yeah. People are more concerned. And the men are the same way. Like on the West Coast, they prefer their women a little thinner. Yeah. And on the East Coast, they like them a little thicker. And it's just because of the lifestyles, though, and what's considered normal in that area. Yeah, exactly. And the media contributes to this heavily because the media is really good at exaggerating ideas. And we see it on both sides. Fitness, for example. When you look at, like, pictures of, the fitness industry or models, they're all very underweight or incredibly unrealistically lean. Like they're at a level of leanness that just frankly is not sustainable for most people. Certainly not if optimal health is your overall goal. Yeah, or fertility or any of that stuff. But the media says like, hey, this super lean image, that's, being fit. And so we make those 6 pack. Yeah, and right? So they use these models that are way too lean. Yeah, and we make those associations. We say, okay, being fit is being that lean. When the reality is that no, being that lean is being that lean. Being fit is achieved way before that. And on the flip side of things, the media exaggerates overweight or obesity. In fact, when you look at magazine and newspaper articles where they use images to portray just plain old obesity, the media, the average BMI of the models used in those images is 42. So the media tells people that obesity, I have to do it over here so it appears in the camera, because over here it doesn't. So obesity is actually morbid obesity. So you wonder why someone with a BMI of 32 who is obese is like, yeah, I'm a little overweight. It's because they're comparing themselves to the idea of obesity they got from the media, which is someone who's more than bullshit. So, yeah. Just be aware of who you're surrounding yourself with. And I used to tell my kids that all the time. You can't soar with the eagles when you're fucking with the chickens. Like, yeah. And it's the same with intellect or anything. Like, if you want to improve yourself, you need to surround yourself with people that are bettering themselves as well and have a realistic idea of weight or whatever. Yeah, just be aware that your environment and the people that you spend your time around are going to influence your perceptions. Even if you think you're a strong bitch. Yeah, it happens on an subconscious level. Unconscious, subconscious. We're not going to get into that for another time. That's a debate. Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content, awesome. That's what we like. And if you know anyone who you think